Imagine this. England were down against Mexico, and then came the moment that shook the entire stadium. Mexico started in explosive fashion. Playing in front of their home crowd, they struck twice early and completely took control of the match. The fans were on their feet, the atmosphere electric. But England refused to surrender. Attack after attack followed, and then began a comeback no one saw coming. England scored 3 goals in response, completely turning the game on its head and silencing the Mexican crowd. The final score read Mexico 2, England 3, a match that will be remembered as one of the greatest comebacks in World Cup history. This wasn't just a football match. It was proof that in football, anything can happen until the final whistle. Mexico City's Estadio Azteca was overflowing with passion that night. This stadium itself is a legend, the very place where Maradona produced his infamous Hand of God magic in 1986. Now, 40 years later, England returned to the same ground to bury old ghosts. Mexico's journey in this World Cup had been outstanding. They won all their group matches and reached the round of 16 without conceding a single goal. England, on the other hand, arrived with their traditional slow start reputation, but everyone knew they possessed match winners like Jude Bellingham and Kane. The match began tightly. Within the opening minutes, the tension rose when Declan Rice was shown a yellow card for serious foul play. Mexico asserted their dominance early, with Raúl Jiménez creating chances, but England's defense remained organized. The first half largely belonged to Mexico, whose midfield circulated the ball confidently and controlled the tempo. Then came the moment that stunned the entire stadium. In the 36th minute, Declan Rice collected the ball from goalkeeper Jordan Pickford and drove forward nearly 60 yards on his own before releasing it wide to Bukayo Saka. Saka delivered a beautiful cross, and Jude Bellingham rose to head the ball into the net. The stadium fell silent. It was Mexico's first goal conceded in the tournament. But that was only the beginning. Immediately after the restart, England pressed again. Elliot Anderson won possession, played it to Kane, who delivered a low cross that Bellingham tapped in from 6 yards out. Within just 2 minutes, England were suddenly 2-0 ahead, and Bellingham had his brace. The entire Azteca was in shock. Mexico refused to give up. Just 3 minutes before halftime, following a free kick, the ball fell to Julian Quiñones, who smashed in a stunning volley to make it 2-1. The stadium came alive once again. Before the break, Mexico created 2 or 3 more close chances, but Pickford produced several outstanding goal line saves to keep England ahead. The second half began with even more drama. At halftime, Mexico replaced the injured defender Cesar Montes with Edson Alvarez. Then, in the 54th minute, a game-changing moment arrived. Jarell Quansah lunged into a studs-up tackle on Jesus Gallardo. After a VAR review, the referee showed a straight red card. England were now down to 10 men, with more than half an hour still to play. Everyone expected Mexico to mount a comeback, but instead, the opposite happened. Around the hour mark, Anthony Gordon chased a long ball, and Mexican goalkeeper Raúl Rangel rushed off his line. His timing was wrong, and he brought Gordon down. The referee pointed to the spot. Kane calmly converted the penalty, his 6th goal of the tournament, giving England a 3-1 lead. Mexico kept fighting. After substitute Brian Gutierrez came on, Mexico earned another penalty following a foul by Kane. This time, Raúl Jiménez stepped up and converted, making it 3-2. With 1 goal separating the teams and England a man down, the match was on a knife edge. The final 30 to 35 minutes turned into pure survival football for England. They defended with everything they had. Pickford emerged as the true hero of the match. He faced 20 shots, made multiple goal line saves, and even tipped one certain goal onto the corner flag. Mexico launched wave after wave of attacks in stoppage time, corners, shots, desperate efforts, but England's defense remained unbreakable. When the final whistle blew, England's players collapsed to the ground, overwhelmed by exhaustion and joy. Mexican players were left in tears. It was Mexico's first home defeat in a World Cup, and their journey ended after 4 matches. Their dream of reaching the quarterfinals for the first time since 1986 was once again shattered. Several records emerged after the match. Julian Quiñones became Mexico's most involved player in the tournament with 4 goal contributions, 3 goals and 1 assist, equaling Luis Hernandez's 1998 record. Roberto Alvarado recorded 3 assists, the most by any Mexican player in a World Cup since 1966. Harry Kane scored his 4th headed goal of this World Cup. Only Miroslav Klose and Gerd Muller have scored more headers in World Cup history. England will now face Norway in the quarterfinal, after Norway stunned Brazil earlier the same day under the leadership of Erling Haaland. For England, this marks the 3rd consecutive World Cup in which they have reached the quarterfinals, the first time this has happened since 1970. Overall, this match became one of the most dramatic games of the 2026 World Cup, featuring 2 penalties, a red card, a rapid brace, and a nail-biting finish that once again proved that nothing in football can ever be predicted until the final whistle. England vs. Norway quarterfinal preview. The quarterfinal will be played on Saturday, July 11th, at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, referred to as Miami Stadium during the tournament. Kickoff is scheduled for 5 p.m. local time, EDT, which is 10 p.m. in the UK and around 2:30 a.m. in Pakistan. England's journey to this stage has been dramatic, defeating Mexico with 10 men, and earlier edging DR Congo 2-1 in the round of 32 with 2 late goals from Kane. This is England's 3rd straight World Cup quarter-final appearance, a major achievement in itself. Norway's run has been the biggest surprise of the tournament. This is the first time Norway have ever reached a World Cup quarterfinal. They finished 2nd behind France in the group stage, beat Ivory Coast 2-1 in the round of 32, and then shocked football giants Brazil 2-1 in the round of 16, with Erling Haaland scoring both goals himself. The biggest storyline is clear: Haaland versus Kane. Both strikers are locked in a tight Golden Boot race. Haaland currently leads with 7 goals, while Kane is close behind with 6. Both are the primary weapons for their teams, and this match could decide who pulls ahead. England do have some concerns. Jarell Quansah will miss the match due to suspension after his red card against Mexico. Jordan Henderson picked up an injury during post-match celebrations, and Reece James remains an injury doubt, though he has not been ruled out. Norway, meanwhile, have no major injury or suspension issues, and their squad is largely fit, including Julian Ryerson, who had been doubtful before the Brazil match but featured. Historically, England hold the advantage in head-to-head meetings, 7 wins from 12 matches, with Norway winning twice and 3 ending in draws. However, these records are dated. The last meeting came in a friendly in 2014, and this current Norwegian side, featuring players like Haaland and Antonio Nusa, operates at a completely different level than any England have faced before. Tactically, Norway are expected to adopt a compact and disciplined defensive setup, similar to what they used against Brazil. England, meanwhile, will rely on their attacking quality and individual brilliance, Bellingham, Saka, and Kane, to break them down. The winner will advance to the semi-finals, where they will face one of Switzerland, Colombia, Egypt, or Argentina.